Welcome. This is Dr. David D. Shine, host of Saving America. And this is our segment called In the News. And a bit of good news. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, sitting here in Texas, twice, not once, but twice, has blocked the Biden OSHA vaccine mandate for private employers. That has now been consolidated into the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, and I am fairly confident that they're going to find that the OSHA did not have the authority to do this, nor did Biden have that authority. This $1.5 trillion plus mess has less than 20% dedicated to actual roads and bridges, which is what I interpret and most American taxpayers interpret as infrastructure. So this is the type of infrastructure we get: $1 trillion of pork and a minor percentage going to actual roads and bridges, which, by the way, in the United States, we need to stop raiding the Highway Trust Fund, which is funded by federal gas taxes, and to use it for what its purpose was, which is to build highways and bridges, and to stop stealing from that fund, as the feds have done for so long, and used it for other projects and called it infrastructure. I know the difference doesn't make it with me, but it's really terrible. And what's interesting, of course, is that he's one of the things that people really don't know is what's also in this ridiculous so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill. It defines gender identity as a protected class. It doles out, get this, digital equity grants partially based on racial and ethnic minority status. There was an attempt to do this in a farm bill a while back. That was found to be illegal discrimination. Yes, folks, I don't think this will fare any better in the courts. A state mandated carbon reduction program, again, another anti-development phase of this bill. There's funding for zero-emission vehicles. Well, we need pieces here. First of all, they have not come up with infinite energy creators. There is no such creation. Electric vehicles run on emissions generated up at the electric plant. Yes, there's still emissions generated. It's just that they're in a different place. Now, maybe that's more efficient. Maybe it's less efficient. None of us actually know, but we do know that this is a necessary situation, that we understand the fact that there is no such thing as a vehicle that creates no emission. Either it's done at the vehicle or it's done at the source of the power, but there's no free lunch, Biden and your crazy, useless buddies. And it's just a very disturbing situation. Furthermore, let's think about this situation with electric vehicles. Do I want us to get away from petroleum and fossil fuel products? Yes, I do. I am committed to that. I think we need to have extremely energy efficient vehicles. We need to do the best we can. In the meantime, the people most impacted by this are people who are living at the margin, who are driving an old car, will not be buying a new electric vehicle. And furthermore, many of these people at the margin live in multifamily housing. Most of it either does not have electric vehicle charging stations, or has only a tiny handful relative to the number of residents in these complexes. It will be years and years and years before there is a substantial distribution of used electric vehicles for lower income people, and where there are so many charging stations that even people at the lowest income level can access them. This is a big fraud. Who's going to make out on this? The people who can afford to buy a $60,000 or $80,000 electric vehicle. It is not benefiting the majority of the public. I can't afford to buy one of these vehicles, and I certainly don't plan to be an experiment because I don't believe they've got a system for changing out the batteries and for running these vehicles over long periods of time. And I've interviewed friends of mine who are driving Teslas, and they can't drive them from here to Dallas without charging them. And they have homes with chargers in the driveway or in their garage. What about the half of America that does not have their own home and cannot install a charger in that home that doesn't exist? Yeah, just ridiculous stuff. And with that somber note, we wrap up In the News for Saving America, your host, Dr. David D. Shine.